So if you consider the fact that, you know, so once again, like, I don't have an answer for this because I'm not Jewish, right? But yo, just ask like, if you're Jewish, you have a Jewish friend, just ask them, like, and then there's no right or wrong answers. Like, are Jewish people white? You have a huge range of answers. But anyways, so to continue, so it's so interesting because this is where America doesn't really allow for dynamic definitions. I mean, like, for example, you know, Barack Obama, right? Caucasian mother, you know, kind of like African descent father, I believe. And I think Obama grew up in Indonesia, right? So very multicultural, but everyone just thought of him as black because, you know, it seems, I don't know how it works in America, but even if you're 50-50, let's say you're 50% African descent, 50% Caucasian, you suddenly become black. It's kind of strange, right? Or, you know, you think about Drake, right? I think Drake's mom is Jewish, I think. Caucasian mom, African American dad. So we look at Drake, we look at Drizzy, right? And you're like, yo, he's black. But so these definitions for race, they're not really dynamic enough. So what I encourage is, you know, I don't really think race, ethnicity, morphology, sex, gender, background, nationality matters. To me, I judge people based on their courage, their industry, their tenacity, their penchant to be genuine, to share their mind, to be courageous. And certainly these are things you could control. So like, what I'm advocating for is more of this approach where you're essentially, yo, Black Rhino in the house. Shout out to John Narciso, my brother-in-law. So so kind of moving more towards this dynamic understanding where you know, morphology, we all look different, but America, we pride ourselves in diversity, melting pot, blah blah blah. I grew up in Bayside, Queens, which is next to Flushing, which is probably one of the most diverse places in America. Yeah, so like, certainly we should believe more in the rainbow, right? Rainbow crew is kind of smart. I think maybe we shouldn't be talking about, you know, black versus white or colored, whatever. Yo, we should talk more about rainbow, right? So like, if anyone ever called me colored, I would take that as huge. Like, if anyone ever called my future kids colored, I would, like, you know, punch them in the gut, right? I'm like, yo, my kids are just my kids, and my family is my family. I'm like, and everyone should be able to self-identify as different, right? Because like, who knows, maybe I want to consider myself purple. It's like, yo, Eric, what are you? I'm like, yo, I'm purple. So what are you talking about? This is like, everyone trying to put you inside a box because most people, you know, have a hard time understanding nuance and dynamic properties and stuff like that. So I'll just encourage, I mean, this is what I try to do personally. I'm not telling you what to do, I'm just telling you what I do. I ain't gonna call nobody black, white no more unless I'm talking in jest or just, you know, talking colloquially. However, more nuance is a sign of wisdom, right? African American, East Asian, Afro-Caribbean American, you know, Southeast Asian, South Asian, Middle East, Near East, Levant, Caucasian, Northern European, you know, Southern European, Western European, Eastern European. I mean, there's so many, so the more specific we get in terms of whatever we're talking about is probably going to be more useful. And ultimately, at the end of the day, probably best not even to classify yourself. People are like, yo, Eric, what are you? I'm like, I'm Eric. Or someone's like, yo, what are you? Billy? I'm Billy. Or, you know, or Shandy, what are you, Shandy? I'm Shandy. Like, don't put yourself in a box. Maybe better for us to just say our nationality, right? Like, if I met some dude on the street who's African American or East Asian or South Asian, Latino American, whatever, he's like, yo, what is you? Just be like, I'm American. Right? Because I probably have more in common with a Mexican American who grew up on Dragon Ball Z than I do with even a South Korean if I go to South Korea. So anyways, let us inject more nuance into our words kind of be careful about what we talk about. For the most part, I would encourage you to avoid politics, think more about philosophy, think long term, add more nuance, and yeah, I think the collective thriving of all of humanity, regardless of your background, seems to be the goal.